There's a half-burned candle sitting in a drawer in your house right now that will fix the door you've been fighting with for 2 years. Not mask the problem, not delay it, fix it. For the cost of nothing, using a tool you already owned in about 10 minutes. And the reason nobody told you this isn't because it's some hidden secret. It's because there's no service call in it, no upsell, no $90 trip charge. A carpenter who charges you to come out and solve this in 10 minutes looks worse than one who charges you to replace the door. So the trick stayed with the trades and quietly disappeared from everyone else's vocabulary. Let me show you exactly how it works, why it works, and this is the part most people skip: how to tell whether wax will actually solve your specific problem or whether you're dealing with something else entirely. Because before you touch that door with anything, you need to know what's actually happening. A sticking door is telling you something very specific, and if you read it wrong, you'll wax a surface that isn't the problem and wonder why nothing changed. There are really only 5 reasons a door sticks. Seasonal humidity is the big one. Wood is hygroscopic, which is a fancy way of saying it drinks moisture out of the air. In a humid summer, a solid wood door can gain enough moisture weight to swell 1/16 of an inch across its width. That's invisible to your eye and catastrophic to a door that was hung with 1/16 of an inch of clearance. Second reason, your house moved, foundations settle, framing shifts, and the rough opening your door sits in is no longer perfectly square. Third, paint buildup. Every time someone repainted the jamb without sanding it first, they added a layer. 4 coats of latex is a measurable thickness. Fourth, the hinge screws are backing out. Gravity pulls on a door 24 hours a day for decades, and eventually those short screws that came with the hinges lose their grip in the wood, and the whole door sags a fraction of an inch toward the latch side. Fifth, weather stripping has swollen, compressed wrong, or gotten gummy. Figure out which one you have, and you'll know whether wax is the answer or just a distraction. Here's the test. Take a regular number 2 pencil and rub the graphite along the edges of the door where you think it's rubbing. Close the door, open it. Wherever the graphite got smeared or wiped away, that's your actual friction point. You might be surprised. People assume the door is sticking at the top because that's where they hear the scrape, but 9 times out of 10 the contact is on the latch side edge about 2/3 of the way up. The pencil test never lies. Now, why wax? Why not silicone spray? Why not WD-40? Why not bar soap like your grandfather used? Wax does something on wood that no other lubricant can do, and it comes down to the way wood fibers behave under pressure. When a door edge rubs against a jamb, you're not dealing with 2 smooth surfaces sliding past each other. You're dealing with 2 microscopically rough surfaces, wood fibers, torn grain, paint ridges, catching on each other like 2 pieces of Velcro set to low. Every lubricant you've ever used tries to solve this in one of 2 ways. It either sits on top of the surfaces as a slick film, which is what silicone does, or it soaks in and evaporates and leaves nothing behind, which is what WD-40 does. WD-40 is actually terrible for this application, by the way. It's a water displacer, that's what the WD stands for, and it attracts dust like a magnet. You lubricate a door with it, and 6 months later you've got a sticky brown varnish in the exact spot you were trying to keep smooth. Wax does something different. Wax is solid at room temperature, which means it doesn't evaporate, doesn't run, doesn't drip onto your carpet. When you rub it onto wood, the soft wax physically fills the microscopic valleys between fibers. It doesn't just coat, it levels. And when you introduce a little heat, the wax melts into the grain itself and bonds with the surface. You're not putting a slippery layer on top of the wood. You're turning the top fraction of a millimeter of the wood into a waxed, self-lubricating surface. This is the same principle that keeps table saw tops gliding, drawer slides silent, and wooden sash windows moving after 150 years. Cabinet makers have known this forever. Homeowners used to know it. Somewhere in the last 3 generations, the knowledge quietly slipped out of common use. The history is less dramatic than it sounds, but more interesting than you'd think. Beeswax has been used as a wood lubricant and finish for at least 300 years of documented trade practice, and probably a lot longer than that. European joinery manuals from the 1700s describe rubbing beeswax on tenons, drawer runners, and door edges as a standard finishing step. When petroleum refining took off in the 1860s, paraffin wax became dirt cheap and widely available, and it more or less replaced beeswax in everyday applications because it was 1/10 of the cost and worked nearly as well for lubrication. By the early 1900s, a candle stub in a kitchen drawer was considered a basic household tool. What changed is something nobody ever announced. After the Second World War, the American economy shifted hard toward specialization and service. The homeowner who used to handle basic repairs started calling someone. Apprenticeships that used to pass down hundreds of these little tricks, wax on a door, soap on a screw, chalk in a lock, started shrinking. Trade schools taught bigger skills. The 10-minute fixes didn't make it into textbooks because they weren't billable. By the 1980s, an entire generation had grown up without ever seeing anyone rub a candle on a door edge. The knowledge didn't get suppressed. It just got quietly abandoned because nobody was making money teaching it and nobody was making money doing it. Here's exactly how you do this. And the hairdryer is the part that separates a fix that lasts a week from a fix that lasts years. Most people who try the wax trick skip the heat step entirely, and that's why they think it doesn't really work. Without heat, you're leaving a thin film sitting on top of the wood. It gets scraped off within a few dozen opens and closes. With heat, you drive the wax into the fibers, and now you've got something that'll last 2 or 3 years before it needs a touch-up. Start with your pencil test so you know exactly where to treat. Don't wax the whole door edge. It's wasteful, and it'll gum up the hinge side. Wax only the contact points the pencil revealed. Wipe those spots clean with a dry cloth. If there's loose paint or obvious debris, scuff it lightly with a piece of fine sandpaper, something in the 220 grit range, and wipe again. Take your candle. A plain white paraffin candle is perfect. A beeswax candle is even better. A scented candle will work, but you'll smell it for a week. Rub the candle directly on the contact points, like you're coloring with a crayon. Press firmly. You want a visible white or pale yellow streak. Go over each spot 5 or 6 times. You'll be amazed how much wax transfers. Now the hairdryer. Set it to medium heat, not high. Hold it about 4 to 6 inches from the waxed area and move it slowly back and forth. You'll watch the wax streak go from opaque white to glassy and translucent. That's the wax melting into the grain. It takes about 20 to 30 seconds per spot. Don't cook it, don't let it drip, just warm it until it turns clear. Let it cool for a minute, then take a clean dry cloth and buff the surface firmly. You're removing excess and polishing what's left into the wood. When you're done, the surface should feel smooth, look slightly darker than the surrounding wood, and have no visible wax residue. Close the door. It should move like a different door. Genuinely, the change is immediate and dramatic when the diagnosis was right. And that's the important part. Wax won't save a door that's sticking because your foundation moved, and pretending otherwise is how people waste a Saturday. If your pencil test showed rubbing only at the top of the latch side and the bottom of the hinge side, that's a sagging door, and the real fix is replacing the top hinge screws with 3-inch ones that bite into the stud behind the jamb. Takes 4 minutes, costs $1, and wax won't help until you've done it. If the whole latch edge is dragging uniformly, the door is swollen with humidity and you may need to plane a hair off it. Wax will get you through the humid months, but a permanent fix means taking the door down once the weather dries out and shaving the edge. If the door suddenly stopped closing right after nothing obvious changed, walk around and look at your door frame for visible gaps or cracks in the drywall above it. That's structural, that's a pro call, and no amount of candle wax is going to address it. Wax is for the common cases: minor rubbing, a slightly swollen edge, a latch that catches rough on the strike plate, a hinge edge that squeaks and drags. For those, it's nearly miraculous. For the other stuff, it's a delay tactic at best. You now know more about why doors stick than most people who get paid to fix them, and that's not an exaggeration. You can diagnose the problem in 30 seconds with a pencil. You know why wax works when sprays fail. You know when to reach for the candle and when to reach for longer screws or a plane. This is the kind of knowledge that used to live in every household and somehow evaporated in about 2 generations. Not because anyone took it away, but because nobody was selling it. And nobody was teaching it, and small practical skills like this tend to disappear when they stop being passed down at the kitchen table. The next time a door in your house starts dragging, try this before you call anyone. Pencil test first. Figure out what you're actually dealing with. If it's a friction problem, a stub of candle, and a hairdryer, we'll solve it in 10 minutes, and it'll stay solved for years. If it's something else, you'll know, and you'll know what to do about that too. If this is the kind of old practical knowledge you want more of, the kind that doesn't make anyone any money to teach, but actually works, stick around. There's a lot of it out there, and most of it's been sitting in plain sight the whole time, just waiting for someone to point at it. Hit subscribe if you want the next one when it drops. And if you try the wax trick on a door that's been driving you crazy, come back and tell me how it went. I read the comments, and the specific weird door problems people describe are usually the best ones.